Those games where the media say after the 90 minutes that you lost the game 2-0, and they say if it wasn't for the keeper, it would have been 6, it would have been 7. Does that help you, or do you think, look, we still lost the game?
I think it's a bit of a split with a goalkeeper, because as goalkeepers, you're highlighted when you make your mistakes. So you do like to take a little bit of credit when you play well as well. As I said, even though you're part of a team, you're very much individuals within that team. And it's a disappointment if you don't win the game, but I think I speak from experience to say, if I've played well, then I'm happy with my performance. But I don't know how other people would feel. Sorry? It's disappointing, yeah, but selfishly, I would have thinking, I've done my job, I can't do any more than that. I've had a good game, I'm happy.
Mike, I think you finished in February of the season, wasn't it?
February 1988.
Yeah. And we went on that season then to win promotion. How difficult was that for you, watching the side carry on and sealing promotion in the playoff final?
Incredibly.
And you weren't part of that?
No, I played the first 32 games of that season. And we were in a decent position just outside the playoffs. And then it happened suddenly against Stockport on the Friday night. And I went to Morrison Hospital to be told I couldn't play again after that. On the Saturday, I drove Robbie James's car up to Leighton Orient because I couldn't bear not to be at the game. I couldn't bear. So Robbie said, look, I'm going back up to London. Do you want to drive my car up? So I did. So I drove his car up to warm watch the game. And the same in the Cambridge game the following week. And it was as if I couldn't bear to not be at the games. But then I realised after a couple of weeks I needed to back off from that because the players needed their space, to be honest. And we got to the stage of the playoffs, and it was the first ever playoffs. Torquay, and does anybody remember the playoff games against Torquay? Yeah. It was the wettest day ever at Torquay, wasn't it? Horrendous. And I didn't tell anybody I was going. I went down on the supporters bus because I didn't want to interfere with any of the players' minds on that day. And it was only after we'd won and were promoted that I went into the change room after and had that, joyous scenes in the change room and came back with the players after the game because effectively I was still part of the squad until my contract ended a few months later. So yeah, it was horrible watching. And I saw a rerun of the highlights only the other night and thinking, shit, I wish I was playing in that. So it was one of those regrets, but it's one of those things you can't help, unfortunately.
I suppose it's hard for any player to stop playing, which is why you get players playing well below the level that they once played at. And you think, why are they playing for a non-league side or a semi-pro side when they were so successful, but they just want to keep playing? But for you, of course, it was even harder because you had no choice. You had to stop playing when you were at the peak of your time as a sportsman, as an athlete. It was just before my 24th birthday when I was told I hadn't missed a game for 2.5 years,
and it was hard. I didn't play. From the reports I got, the head injuries, I should never play sport again, but I still got bored with that, to be honest. And when I moved into my new job, I started playing rugby a few times, and I thought, this is fine, no problems. But I wasn't doing it on a daily basis. Then about 18 months down the line, I thought, do you know what, I have to start playing again. So I just put some feelers out there. Because I couldn't come back into the pro game, I played for a season at Poole Town in the Visa Homes Premier League. So I was travelling from Wales to play for Poole and back again, and I did it for a season. But during that season, I was playing as well as I could have, but I just wasn't match fit because I was turning up there playing and not training during the week. And I ended up with snapped that in half, snapped that one in half, and 3 stitches in my knee, 2 broken ribs, and a torn rec femoris in my thigh. So I knew at that point, I'm thinking, it's probably time to call it quits now. So that's when I came away and I started to take up refereeing from them.
Yeah. Did you then see referees in a completely different light?
Oh God, absolutely. And still do today. Still do today. So when all hell lets loose around me, I still have that sort of calming thought of my refereeing. And again, that's another regret, because I loved getting involved. Within 6 seasons, I got to the Football League line, and after one game, I tore my calf. I did one game on the line, Wycombe Wanderers against Peterborough, and tore my calf on the following Tuesday and never came back from it. So that was a second Football League career in a different guise, which had eluded me, should we say, after all these years. So, yeah, I loved it, but it's not for everybody.
It's easier to watch games now, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Is it got easy? Well, look, easy.
It gets easier, because during the 90s, if there's any blip at all from when I first watched Swansea City, it was during the 90s, because I just couldn't watch, because I felt I should still be playing. But then I had to step aside to let a club legend like Roger Freestone come in. So it was always some good to come out of that, to be honest.
Brilliant. Question? Go on then.
Like at the other end of the goalkeeper's psychological state, what's it like facing a penalty? Did you have any kind of techniques when you were facing penalties? Or what's it like to save?
If you're talking about strategies for saving penalties now, because everybody knows where they're going to put them, from the amount of TV cameras and everything else, I think if you look at Jordan Pickford in the recent World Cup, you know, his goalkeeping coach Martin Margetson, who was another Port Talbot boy actually, he'd had it all laid out on his water bottle exactly where those players were going to take those penalties. You know, with us it was shit. I've seen him before, and it looks, yeah, I'm going to go that way, or I'm going to go that way. I ain't got a clue. I'm just going that way anyway. I did okay on those. I saved my fair share of penalties. Yeah. 1-4. Yeah. The one I said at Cardiff, the following game we played Plymouth Argyle away, and I saved one there, but it didn't do us any good because we lost the game 2-0. But most of the time in those days it was just guesswork and my hunch and looking at the run up of the player, to be quite honest.
How do you feel immediately when if you do
It all depends. You think I probably led him into this, because it all depends.
This has been on 3 rings, and that's the best one.
It all depends who it's from, because it happened to me once at White Hart Lane in a combination game, and I gave the penalty away, to be honest. I took out, they had a winger called Ali Tick, I took him out, and Glenn Hoddle stepped up to take the penalty. I knew from watching him on TV that when Peter Shilton saved the penalty from Glenn Hoddle going to his right. So before he'd actually made contact with the ball, I was practically in the top corner, and that's where I caught it and landed with the ball. At that point, I just wanted to run and celebrate that I'd saved the penalty from one of my favourite all-time players.
Did he come and touch you on that afterwards?
Yeah, it wasn't quite nice. Right, that's it, yeah.
Tough.
You don't come from at all, but is there any of you family Cardiff fans?
Ooh, good question.
Because
No.
Don't answer.
Talbot is, you know.
Yeah, people think that. People think that in Swansea, but it's not the case, because I live in Bridgend now. And Bridgend is exactly equidistant between Swansea and Cardiff. And I walk around and there's more Swansea tops than there is Cardiff. Although I've seen a few more recently. You know, the plastics have sort of worked their way back up. It is, yeah. No, yeah, it was healthy rivalry when I was at school, but it's no more.
Have you ever thought of becoming a coach in goalkeeping, or did you try it or not?
I did for a period of time, but I just wanted to be involved. I wanted to be on the field, and that's why I took a refereeing, because I wanted to see that through. I did my coaching, I did my treatment management of sports injuries, but it was just something that I wanted to push on with my refereeing, and unfortunately that fell by the wayside as well. So, yeah.
How important is it for the Swans to get back into the Premier League? Because we often hear people say that, don't we? We've got to get back into the Premier League.
It's not important.
I know, but I've got another 5 minutes. I've got to fill.
It's not important.
Is it important?
Let's just play good football. That's it.
And let's have Elvis.
It doesn't matter what fucking league we're in. Let's play good football.
Well, that question's been answered. Thank you.
I think it's important, but it is, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, we just want to go to games, we want to enjoy, we want to see a winning side. It doesn't matter, as Swansea City fans, where that is. We just want to go to games and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We just want to play good football.
Yeah, go on, you.
That's it.
Mike, as a keeper, you alluded earlier to the fact that at one stage you were the only keeper in the club. Now we've got a surfeit of keepers. We seem to collect them for fun. Christopher Norfield, of course, has patiently sat behind Fab for the last few years, and now he's had his opportunity. He started off well. Very unfortunate injury, not football related really. He just pulled his groin. It wasn't an injury caused by another player. Erwin Mulder, who's come in, I stepped up, in my opinion.
Brilliant. He was brilliant today.
Brilliant.
Absolutely man of the match.
So when Chris is fit again, how difficult is it going to be to put him back into the number one shirt over Erwin?
He's quite simply, he's not the number one. Whoever holds the jersey at the time and is playing well holds that jersey. And for me, somebody said, I read something that somebody asked Erwin Mulder, was he good enough to play at this level? And he looked at him as if he had three heads. Because this is a guy who was in the Dutch squad in 2012, Euro 2012. He was the first team goalkeeper at Eindhoven at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy you've seen in the last 2-3 games is quality.
Brilliant.
Absolute quality. So I think Christopher Norfield, if he wants to come back in and play in the side, then he's going to have a big job in his hands.
I think he's fit. Would you expect him to have a run on Tuesday night?
Who, Christopher Norfield?
Yeah.
If the manager thinks he's capable of doing that, then absolutely. But, like I said, Stephen Bender was on the bench today. He may automatically think that that's an opportunity for him to play. But it's down to the manager how he sees things going forward, I guess. But for me, at this moment in time, Erwin Mulder is number one.
He's number one.
Yeah.
Brilliant, two brilliant saves today.
It's fantastic.
I found it fascinating listening to you tonight. I'm sure everybody has. But I am intrigued. Who's been your great inspiration as a goalkeeper? Your goalkeeping hero?
As a kid, it was. And funny enough, I played against him twice with a fellow called David Harvey.
Yeah, Leeds United.
Leeds United. Remember at 74 World Cup when he played for Scotland. He was, I thought, outstanding. And then I was fortunate enough in '84 to play against him twice, one up at Leeds, and then against Leeds at home with the Vetch. And that was a big thrill of mine, to be honest, to see that. But modern day goalkeepers, there's quite a flux out there. You know, I think probably we've seen the best here for a long while in Fabianski. And for consistency over 4 years.
Unbelievable.
Doris de Vries.
Unbelievable.
You know, you go back before that, Big Roger.
Jeff Crudgington.
Crudge, yeah. Speedy could probably tell me a lot more about Crudge, couldn't you? Hey? No. My first goalkeeper that I saw at the club was Steve Potter.
Yay!
Steve Potter.
Absolute hero,
Replaced by Keith.
77.
And then Keith, 77, and then Keith Barber came in and replaced him. But those early days it was David Harvey for me.
I sat next to Pat Jennings on a plane back from Belfast to be playing for Northern Ireland, and he literally does have the hands were just like I couldn't take my eyes off his hands.
He played in a football combination game against us once at the bench. Pat Jennings, Niall Quinn, David Rocastle. We got beat 4-0, as you can imagine. Really young kids too.
Who's the best player you've ever been on a pitch with?
Speedy.
Speedy.
If Speedy won,